paranormal, special guests, interviews, haunting stories, creatures of the unknown, and tales that will chill you to the bone. Brought to you by the UPRN Network and Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. Take a walk into the night with Shawn Kelly.
Hey guys, how is everybody? Oh, there goes my messenger just going off the deep end. Hi, I am Shawn Kelly, and this is my show Into the Night on UPRN Radio 105.3, New Orleans. How's everybody's night tonight? We had an awesome show on Chasing Prophecy, and I hope we can get this guy. His name was Jeff Harmon. He's an astrologer, and he's pretty good. I mean, some of the stuff that he was saying kind of blew my mind because the only astrology that I know is the ones that I read in the newspaper. you know what says Gemini and stuff like that. And speaking of astrology, I turned 60 years June 4th, 60 years old. And it's crazy that I say that because I honest to God didn't think I would make it to 50, and I guess, it's not my time yet, and I don't know what my time is. And so what I'm going to do from now on is just enjoy life. My current situation with my depression, the anxiety, it seems to be on a steady level right now. It's not intense as it was like for the last 2 months. I kind of weaned myself off my medication. Reason being, because it was really, really putting me in the dumps. I realized that, but I can't blame the doctors for prescribing that to me. But I know my body. But anybody out there, if you desperately need to take your, whatever your doctor has you on, please take it. If it's helping you out, I'm just speaking upon myself. I'm sure there's going to be a time where all hell is going to break loose again, and I'm more than likely going to have to do what I have to do in order to level me out. But as of right now, I'm doing okay. And I do pray for every one of y'all, and I do have your back, even though I never will probably see you or hear from you or whatever. I just want you to know that I got your back through prayer. So it was an interesting show. But let me explain, and I'm going to put a disclaimer out here, okay, on tonight's show. As you can see down there, Into the Night with Shawn Kelly is Lucifer and Satan all in one, or are they different entities? My disclaimer is that I respect everybody's religion and what their beliefs are. Why I brought this topic up, because there were some things that I was watching on National Geographic and all kinds of different other things on YouTube and stuff like that. And I got intrigued about it, Things weren't just adding up right. It was kind of blowing my mind, to be honest with you. Because I know the way, I was raised Catholic. I went to church 12 years. 12 years, yeah, because after 18, I didn't go. But I was taught that Lucifer is Satan and Satan is Lucifer. And so, let me see, I was 18, I'm 60 right now. That was 48 years ago. That's what, I was taught with. And all of a sudden, I started watching these shows, okay? And it kind of blew me away. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up to you is, what do you think? I'm not here to change your minds. I'm not here to, dabble in Luciferians or whatever. I'm not, some of you might, think that I'm a nutcase. Well, a lot of people think I'm a nutcase right now, but I just want you to know I respect what you all believe in. So, down to the dirty here. So, I was watching the scholar. Hey, Patrick, how are you? That's my bro. Hi, Pat. So, I was watching the show, and it was some Bible scholars. And this one guy came on. I didn't take notes, I was just listening to it. And he said that, sure, Lucifer was kicked out of heaven. The fallen angel, the morning star, he fell out of heaven. And he was sent to earth with his other angels. Okay. But what this guy said was, a scholar, so much readings that he read and so much studying that he did, that this guy thought that, Lucifer, who was like God's number one angel, just God sent him down to keep an eye on Satan, So when I heard that, I really started to think, and I started to research that maybe there are two different entities. Now, there's a lot of people out there might think, for the way they were raised, like I was raised Catholic, and I was taught that Lucifer was Satan. But it just got intriguing. And I watched some more YouTube channels with different biblical scholars and theologians and priests. And it just like kind of blew me away. So I might, I did take some notes and I got them right next to me, so I'll be constantly going over to them. But here we go. Let's see how it goes. All right. Now, Lucifer was pretty cool. No, I'm not saying cool. I'm just saying he had an interesting background. Lucifer was considered a god in the Romans, like, how the Greek god Zeus and them. Well, according to the Romans, he was the bearer of light, dealing with the planet Venus. And he was the bearer of light. And of course, Lucifer was God's right-hand angel. He was the one that he loved the most. And there was a lot of things about it. But as he was thrown out, okay, it really was different, because I read a lot about it online and doing some of my studies, and it's like, something ain't right here, something isn't right. Because, like, I'll give an example, me and my brother, all right? I love my brother very, very much, okay? And I kicked him out of the house, which would be heaven, I kicked him out of the house. And sure, my brother, according to a certain book, did a lot of bad things and turned his back or tried to make life really hell for me. But I look at it like there's a connection there. That, yeah. Okay, who's this? Well, Lucifer is a form of Latin referring to the planet Venus and associated with the falling of the morning serpent. Satan is a being who seduces believers to go into sin and was initially. And then I'm glad you brought that up, because it kind of like blew me away. Because every time that it was saying that, you read it in the book, and it's like he was an angel of God, and not once was he considered Lucifer. Lucifer actually was like mentioned once in the Bible, and I think it was in the Old Testament, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 through 17, and that's the only time that Lucifer was actually mentioned into the Bible. But all the other times that Satan this, Satan that, and Satan did this, Satan did that. Lucifer was never mentioned. So, and it's really crazy because I know the book was written for a specific reason. Okay. And it was to bring people into a certain religion. Okay. And so at the time when they were writing these books, okay, the guy or the people who wrote these books that were put into this book, the little different stories, they just wanted to tell you straight out that Lucifer was Satan. Okay. Now, a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, and I did some studying with her on it. And she told me this, and I didn't believe her. And I did read on it, and we talked a little bit more about this. This was a while back. And she was explaining to me how they came up with the horns on top of the face. How everyone's, seeing the picture of Satan with the horns on the head. And here's what happened, whenever Christianity came in, they showed all the people there, all the pagans or, the people who are not into Christianity, they took the God, what was it, Pan, the guy half human, half animal. And what they did was they took his face and they drew some horns on top of it. And that's how, it became, you got the face with the horns, because they were saying, this is Satan, So there's a lot of things that I have a problem with, okay, with the book. And I do believe that, he did, that Lucifer was actually sent down to keep an eye on Satan. Now, they are saying that, Satan in Hebrew, it means adversary. It means, going after each other. And I have no doubt in my mind that Satan did tempt Jesus, or, there three times. But I can't believe that Lucifer did that. I can't see it. I can't see it. Now, what I'm telling you right now is just my viewpoint. Okay, this is what I see. I'm and maybe this sounds hypocritical or whatever, but I am into spirituality, and I've been sober so long that I give a lot of credit to God, and so that's where I stand with this. But I hate it when people write things about people and make a bad deal about it, and force it on other people what they wrote. And like, this is it. This is gospel. This is it. I mean, this is down to earth. This is what everything we put in this book is the truth. Now, a little off the subject with him. There's a couple other books that were written that weren't put into the book, okay? And the big one was St. Thomas, the Doubting Thomas. He was one of the apostles, but he's the one that stuck the fingers in the holes in the palms of Jesus into the feet. Now, the reason why his book was never put into the book, because he always believed that, why do I need to go to a four-wall building and pray with other people to where I can go out into the woods or I can go somewhere and I can pray to, do my prayer up there, pray to God from, the woods, the forest, wherever. Okay. So what that means, okay, to me was that, alrighty. So, my brother, we'll get back to my brother. He's going to be my scenario. My brother, hands me the book of St. Thomas, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh no, I can't put this in the book, because if we put it in here, then the people who are not, Christians or pagan, they read that, what St. Thomas has said, then that doesn't mean that they have to go to church, And I don't know. I guess, as you guys can tell, I have a problem with that book, So what I'm trying to boil down to is, I think that, some of the stuff that was written in there about Lucifer being Satan, I can't see it. I do believe they're two different entities. And then also, you got to remember too, then they got the devil. Okay. And so I'm not going to, how I'm going to say this to you. Okay. It's not word from word, but you actually got three entities there. You got three entities that are considered. And I just don't like the stuff that things are said. I hate being told what I need to know and what I need, without me interjecting and believing in what my thoughts were. Okay. But it just, there's four things that, I'm going to read some of my notes here. Lucifer, his Latin name, that was the Latin name. Lucifer was referring to the planet Venus. Okay. And he was representing a force associated with fantasy, visions, psychosis, and subjectivity. Now, was that taught to us when we were growing up? Is that what we were learning? Did they take that number one, fantasy, visions, psychosis, and pushed it into our brains? Hell yeah, they did, And I remember many times I was so afraid. I really was afraid. Because they said, well, Satan's going to get you. You're going to hell because you sneezed in class. I remember that happened to me 6th grade. But it was the devil's going to make you do it. Remember that old saying, the devil's going to make you do it? I think Sammy Davis Jr. or somebody like that brought it up. But you know what? And at that time, when this was being, taught to me, I'm thinking, okay, so I better be on my best behavior so, I don't go to hell and see Satan, or as some other people put it, Lucifer, Now, what's really crazy, like I told you earlier, that in the Bible, Lucifer is only mentioned one time. Okay. Now, Satan, on the other hand, not too many, but whenever the situation where, I got a couple here that I wrote down, but, different situations in which men were really hurting, that's when the stories came in with Satan, and I believe that you just can't tell me that Lucifer was Satan. You just can't tell me that, I respect what you believe in, and I'm not here to change your mind, but I believe Lucifer got a raw deal. He loved God so much, And anyway, if you look at it, he was kicked out of heaven, but it doesn't mention him going into hell. Not at all. you know. And let's see, and then it's really crazy too, because some of the, and when I was reading and some of this stuff, Satan was an angel of God. That's all he wrote. Satan was an angel of God, but they never put Lucifer in there. Now, was there times where, as the book was being written, that people said, okay, we got to lay low, he was only mentioned one time. So we won't put that in there again. So I think it was a double-edged sword on their part, because they claim he is, and then they never put his name back into the book again. Pretty interesting, don't you think? I think so. They never mentioned, every time they mentioned Satan, why could they not mention Lucifer instead of Satan? Why did they put him in here? So instead of Satan, well, got some of the books here, instead of Satan going to Job, oh yeah, Lucifer went to Job. So to me, Lucifer, even though he was cast out, all right, according to the book, okay, I believe he had a little bit of heart inside him, okay, and so I don't think that the stuff that he has mentioned, that claim that he, I don't believe that he is not such a bad person. I think, he was, my theory is he was just sent down into hell to keep an eye on Satan, to be honest with you. I'm going to come out and say, he's keeping an eye. And this one, and this one scholar that I listened to said, when the end of times, when it's all done, when everything is dead, that he's going to go back up and he's going to sit on, they say the right hand side of God, but I don't believe that. He might be sitting on the left, because if you look at it, if you read in there, if you read in places and do some research on it, the left side of God, the left side is empty. So how come the right side has somebody there? And I want to say, I think it's the Holy Spirit. I think it's God. The right, I'm not going to mention because I don't know, and I'll be telling you something different, that I could be, and y'all be like sending me emails or my producer emails. But think about it, right? The right side of God, there's somebody there, but the left one is empty. So is it possible that this dude who was saying this, that when the end of times, that Lucifer will come back and sit on the left-hand side of Jesus Christ, or on the left-hand side of God? Is it possible? Yeah. He believes so. And it makes all sense to me, just to me. Maybe not to y'all, but to me it does. Okay. I mean, think about it. If Lucifer, this is my thought, this is my thinking. If Lucifer wasn't sent down to hell, okay, when he wasn't sent down to hell, or, became Satan, this world would be destroyed. Totally destroyed. Because Satan he would have destroyed the world. Yeah, our world is messed up right now, but you know what? It could be worse. It could definitely be worse. Yeah. But, boom, kick them out, put them down there. And yeah, like I said before, that our world was, our earth, our world is pretty bad. With Lucifer being there, keeping an eye on Satan, okay, it didn't get destroyed, if you understand what I mean. That's the way I feel about it, So in retrospect or whatever, I truly believe, that he got a raw deal, and that's my opinion. Now, it's crazy because, as I was, looking at some things, there's like 4 or 5 things that Satan did. And God, like, said, you back off. Now, I'm okay with saying Satan and God now because I know for a fact, as I was reading these stories and listening, that it isn't Lucifer. Okay. But, look at the gospel, the book of Job. And let me explain Job to you. Okay. When I got sober back in 1991, my sponsor came up to me and he says, what you need to do is read the book of Job. Okay. Now, my version of the book of Job is Job had a lot of everything. He was very rich. He had a lot of cattle. He had sons and daughters, and he had beautiful places. And Satan said to God, hey, listen, you know what? This guy just keeps telling you that he believes in you and that he never curses you. And God allowed that to happen. God said, okay, Satan, you got 3 days with him. And Satan went at him. And Satan went at him with everything. Boils, losing his children. He totally lost everything. Everything he owned, he lost, right? But all of a sudden, as all the stuff that he was losing, you know what? He never cursed God, right? And so, when the whole situation was over with, Job got everything back, plus more, I think tenfold. So there are good, books in there about how God sticks up for the people, Now, there's a book of Zechariah, and Joshua, he was a high priest, But again, he went through some pretty bad stuff to where he was all tattered and dirty, and he just wasn't like, kind of like, just like a vagabond. And then, Satan took him to God and said, look at this guy. He's one of your priests, Bob, look at him. And you know what? God took care of him. God did take care of him. Dressed him up, cleaned him up, everything. And he kicked Satan out, To me, I believe that Lucifer wouldn't have done that. Now, angels might not have hearts, okay? Or angels might not have no souls, whatever. But I believe that Satan was Satan, okay? Do I know how he existed, how he got to where he was at? I don't know. Because I, really did only had 3 or 4 days of research this, but I was just so intrigued on the story of Lucifer. But you know what? I guess what's for me is that I just have to accept what was taught to me, going to 12 years of Catholic school. Okay. And I can't change it. It's taught. I'm not going to go out and spread the word that Lucifer is a good angel or whatever. I'm not. I'm just saying that I think he definitely got a raw deal on that. Is there anybody out there listening that would like to ask a question or something? Please ask away. I'm tired of. I just get tired of people saying bad things about other people. And even though it's not, it's ridiculous to say something bad in order to put in a book so people can read it and say, this is it. I think that's totally wrong. Why couldn't they put St. Thomas's book in? Because they didn't want to, because, at that time it was all about control. And that's what they wanted, Now, who knows what's going to happen down the road? I don't. The way that society is going on could be different. Who knows? But I know today, right now, as I talk to you right now, that my life is okay. And trust me, Satan, he dealt with me. He did. I drank like a fish. In fact, I know for a damn fact that I wouldn't be here on radio talking to you tonight if I didn't get sober. So that was written in my story to where, because I got sober when I was 28, and my God, I'm 60 years old. Can you imagine that? 60 years old? It's funny. I didn't mind getting old, but you know what? I'm having a hard time with being 60. Don't ask me why. I'm having a hard time being 60. So that's what I had to say about Lucifer and Satan today. I know it was probably, wait, what, wait? Okay, I'm here. That's Jenny. She's my co-host on Chasing Prophecy. You're sticking up for, no, I'm not sticking up for Lucifer. I am not. I'm just saying, I think he got a raw deal. I'm not sticking up for him. But we had that conversation before, I'm not sticking up for him. Is he bad? He's bad. Do I trust what was written into the book? No, I don't trust it. That's me. I don't trust it. Not at all. But I'm glad you brought that up. John, you're right. No, I'm not sticking up for him. Not at all. I'm just sharing what I think happened. Now, I could be totally wrong. Am I? Possibility. Maybe I'm in that case or whatever. But from what I have seen in the past and what I have seen how a certain religion destroys other people, I just have a hard time with it, and that's me. Okay. So I just wanted to bring us up tonight, however you want to take it, please, take it the way you want to, I don't know if I'll lose some, followers or whatever, but, this is my opinion, maybe, just maybe, things will get better, but thank you for listening to the situation with Lucifer, my topic tonight. I probably will never bring it up again, but it was just seems like something that it's crazy because whenever I'm done with my shows on Tuesday night at midnight, right? I don't know what my next show is going to be. And then during the week, something will pop into my head. And it's like, okay. And then I put it on the back burner, and then something else will come up, and so by Saturday, I kind of figure what I'm going to be talking about, and what was crazy about this topic that I brought up tonight, I did pray to God. I did go to a church. I did talk to a priest. you know, and I shared with the priest how I felt. And I asked him, I said, listen, am I committing blasphemy? And just like Jenny said, does it sound like I'm sick enough for Lucifer? And he just sat there. God bless him, because I talked his head off for about an hour. And he said, do what you got to do. I'm not here to judge you. It's not my place to judge on what you do. Eventually, one day, when you die and go to heaven, you will be judged. And believe it or not, it felt okay knowing that I heard that from the priest, that he can't judge me. Nobody can, because it's me. Now that might sound egotistical to everybody, but you know what? When I die, when it's my turn to go to the heaven, to the pearly gates, okay, then I shall be judged. And then go from there. If I go to hell, I go to hell. If I, get an open gate, go into heaven, I'll go to heaven. I don't know. But just not this topic tonight will, be the only thing that I got judged on. There's a lot of bad things that I've done. A lot of bad things. And I might be judged on that. But remember, there's only one person who can judge you. And that's the big guy upstairs. The big guy. Not nobody else. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end up. I don't know what's going to happen. But you know what? For some reason, it just felt that I had to bring this up. Mm-hmm. So thank you for listening to that. Thank you. And if you have any complaints, please send me. And don't send them to my producer. Send them to me. You can send them to my Facebook page, Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. And we can have a conversation if you'd like to. It's not so much Lucifer and Satan, but there's a lot of other things out there that don't make sense. But I just had to do it this one night. I won't do it ever again. But on to something more, happiness. Okay. I need to say that my relationship to God has gotten stronger this past week. I have had constant contact with him by praying, and I got to trust him a lot more than I did before. I did. And for me, that's a big step up for me in order to get closer. Maybe I had to do this in order to get closer up there, because he does work in mysterious ways. So that was one good thing that came out of this. It came out for the whole week, my son, he, is pretty, his situation, his job out there in Indiana is coming up, and he's, got a interview for another company down in Columbus, which I hope he gets, because to be honest with you, it's a lot closer down there. It's like 3.5 hours up and to Columbus, and then instead of doing the 5 hours out to where he's at right now. So if y'all could say a prayer for him. I do talk about him a lot, because he is my son. He's my only son that I got. And I just love him dearly, and I see how he progressed. You know what I mean? Now, he's a scientist. And he was raised going to church all the time. Altar boy, the whole 9 yards, you know. But as he started to get into his line of work, the science type of work, he lost it all. He lost it because there's no proof. I'm glad I brought that up. There's no proof of none of this. It's all hearsay. But there was no, he lost all proof of it. He just lost it all. He said he wants proof, scientific proof, that this all exists. And he lost it. Doesn't make him a bad person. I do hope that someday he'll turn around and, he'll be walking down and boom, get hit by lightning and say, hey, this is the big guy upstairs. I'll knock some sense into him. But you know what? I don't blame him for where he's at, because he's not. He's a scientist, and I'm not knocking no scientist at all. Like I keep telling you all in the beginning, and whenever I bring up my show, I have all the respect of what you all do. Okay, whether it be a scientist, an author, a meat cutter, or if you believe in Islam, if you believe in Hebrew, Jewish, whatever, Catholicism, Catholics, I respect that. And I want you all to know that. I do respect that. So, I don't know, we're getting pretty close to the time here. I got about another, let's say 8 minutes. And back to my anxiety and depression and my mental health. Like I said, doing good. But you know what's really crazy about that? Okay. I am very, very, at one point in time, was a type of person when everything is going good for me, that I'm not enjoying the moment that everything's going good for me, because I'm always worried about the other foot being dropped. And so I'm waiting for the other foot to drop, and I'm not, it's like God gave me this, like, good things, not money. I'm not talking money or material things. I'm just talking different relationships, bonding and stuff like that. Bonding with people, But this time around, okay, I'm enjoying right now. I'm enjoying my life right now. And it's great, In the future, I do plan on going up there around Conneaut, up there, a couple of lakes up there that have some streams that have gold in them. And I'm going to go panning for gold. I'm going to try camping. Can you believe that? Me camp? That means I got to put a tent up. Lord, that's going to be something. But I just need to tell you that I do love every one of y'all, and that I do care for y'all. And I got your back. All you have to do is just ask. So I'm going to cut it short. Joe, if you can hear me, I'm getting close to closing out. And I want to wish everybody a good night. And stay safe. And parents, please, give your children a hug. Just hug them and tell them you love them. And children, give your parents a hug and tell them that you love them. And to thank them for them raising you up to the person that you are today. That little line, I love you and thank you, that goes a long way. totally alone with it. So, on that note, I'm going to close. See you next week. I don't know what I'm going to have as a topic. It'll be totally something different than this, but everyone, good night and happy hunting.